This week I want to start off with some verses. When we got to Rome, Paul was allowed to live by himself, with a soldier to guard him. 3 days later he called together the local Jewish leaders. When they had assembled, Paul said to them, "My brothers, although I have done nothing against our people or against the customs of our ancestors, I was arrested in Jerusalem and handed over to the Romans. They examined me and wanted to release me, because I was not guilty of any crime deserving death. The Jews objected, so I was compelled to make an appeal to Caesar. I certainly did not intend to bring any charge against my own people. For this reason I have asked to see you and talk with you. It is because of the hope of Israel that I am bound with this chain." Acts 28 hours 16 minutes - 20. This week I want you to encourage you to look at things that you think are holding you back from what God called you to do. It could be what God has placed on your life, not to hold you back, but to show you a different way of doing things. Paul may have thought that his ministry was over, but it was because of his jail cells that he wrote 28% of the New Testament, more than any other person. He was also able to reach all the guards that were supposed to be guarding him. Instead they were really Paul's captive audience for hours, so he could share the gospel with them. Maybe you feel like that the pandemic is holding you back from what God called you to do. But I want you to think, is he calling you to minister to your family or whoever you are with during this time? Perhaps he is calling you to write like Paul did when he was trapped indoors, or maybe he is calling you to something else, that this time has allowed you to do, that you would not have been able to do without the pandemic. He is calling you during this time to grow closer to him and close everything else out and spend more time in prayer and reading the Bible. So this week, I want you to pray and see what God would have you to do during this time in our lives, whether it would be to minister and grow closer with your family or friends you are around, to write a blog, a book, or a podcast. Is he just drawing you closer to him during this time? He could be calling you to spend your time another way. Pray and ask him what he would have you to do during this time in your life, whether you are still sheltered in place or out and about. See how he can use you during this time in your life, and when it feels like something is holding you back, take a step back and look and see what or how you can help others right where you are.